Welcome back. I am getting everything set up. Do you remember this dress from last week? We were reducing this apex here, doing a small bust adjustment, and we had to release all of this ruching, take it down on the outside, the lining, move the boning, the whole nine. And then off camera, of course, after the live stream, I put it on the bride, made sure that this was correct and the fit was correct. And then I kind of pulled this across her and pinned it how it needs to be draped. So that's where we're at right now. And today we're going to tack that down. And I am making a hot tea to get started. Because, oh my goodness, don't I need it? It's right here. Yes. This is the ticket right here. Are there any other Irish breakfast fans in the house? All right. So I've got my water going. And we're going to get that steeping. But let's see, the to-do list today on this girl, for those of you joining. Last week, remember we pulled this loose because we had to bring this down. So off camera, I had her fitting, everything checked out, everything fit good. So I kind of pulled this across and, just draped it and pinned it. So we're going to tack this down today. And of course, do our typical Q&A. Thank you for the like, guys. That does help YouTube push it out. I really appreciate that. Did you guys get to see my latest long form video I uploaded this morning? I uploaded it at 3:30 in the morning, which is not the most wise, responsible thing to do, but you got to do what you got to do, right? I know a lot of you guys are mothers like me too. So we have our life, right? We got our business, we got our family, all the things. So yeah, I just pulled a really late night here last night so that I could get all my dresses squared away for today and hit upload. And so that video premiered at 10 o'clock this morning. So let me know if you guys have seen that video yet or not. It did have a larger production budget than what I normally have. It was several $1,000s. So I hope you love it because it did require a trip. But like I explained in the video, there were several reasons why I needed to go on that trip. So I hope you love it. I do get to interview a designer. She was launching her new shoe line. Her name is Cheval. And I don't want to get in trouble. So you guys will have to just Google that later. Cheval. In the story of Cheval, if you did not follow it. I did post it all along the way in my stories, but it was a legal battle. And it's a designer that all of you would recognize her original name that her parents gave her. But she's no longer allowed to use that name professionally. So we're not saying it. Anyways, all right, so today the list on here is we're going to hem the crinoline as we have it pinned. We're going to reshape the way these straps are. And we're going to stitch the ruching down. And then, of course, we got to do our Q&A. So I'm just going to set you guys right here. Enjoy the bling while I pull her dress. And we'll go to the cutting room, actually, for this. Because it's such a big, full dress. I really just want to lay her across the cutting table while I hand sew on her. Do you guys call your dresses her, by the way? I do. So this is a beautiful fabric. I don't know if I even really showed the fabric that much last week. Let me hang her up here so you can kind of see. It has like a beautiful glow to it, does it not? It's so pretty. Very nice. Very, very nice. So, all right, let's get her to the cutting table. I still have like my modular cutting table. We're traveling together, guys. Here we go. I still have my modular cutting table, and it's this. What a mess, huh? I do really hope to get a more permanent cutting table made here soon, and that'll be a little bit prettier. Right now we have, I showed this in a video. I don't know if you guys remember. It's also, guys, this is October. This is late October, okay? Where I live, we have that saying, October is the new June. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Don't even think about the June brides. We've got October brides coming out our ears. So this, yes, this mess, I promised you guys when I first started my channel, I was going to be real. And let me tell you, I need some of my girls to come in here and help get this straight. But anyways, let this mess make you feel good about yourself. I'm just all about the reality here. But I did say that, like when I first started out this channel, I said I was not going to, like there's something to be said for aesthetics, right? And doing something pretty. But I'm also not going to let it be like a unrealistic studio kind of feeling all the time. So yeah, you guys get to see it, if I cut my hand or, I've got nicks and scratches and what, I'm not interested in being so perfect that it makes you question your existence as a sewist. Either that or you're just like, this is so fake. What are they trying to sell me, a sewing machine? So I don't want to make people feel that way. So I do show you guys the good, bad, and the ugly. And I think it's important. I also think that my hands they kind of give me a little bit of street cred, don't you think? I've had people say that. I've had some people, a lot of people have complained about my hands. They're like, ew, gross. But the audience that I actually want and care about and want to be a part of my channel, they get it. And I've had them say that when they saw my hands, they knew I was a real sewist. That who wants to learn from a hand model, right? Not me. So yeah, that's where we're at. Although after this October, I've really been trying to transition for you guys. I've been trying to be a little bit heavier in the sewing instruction, the sewing educator role, as opposed to just a bridal sewist alone. So I'm making a shift, and I am upping production for you guys, and I am reducing the number of brides that I serve annually. So I'm hoping after October that my hands might be a little bit healed up in time for the virtual retreat. So you won't have to look at nasty hands, right? So I don't think they're nasty. I shouldn't say that. That's just mean trolls online that say that. So anyways. So yeah, we're going to tack this ruching down. And because of how we brought this in, I hope you guys remember this is the dress from last week. So if you didn't get to watch last week, don't leave. Don't leave, because this is live. But after this, you can go and watch the live stream from last week. And last week was mostly a Q&A, the second half. So all you got to do is watch the first half of the video, and you'll see the first bit of this alteration. So for those of you who are just now coming in, this was the dress last week that we had to do a small bust adjustment. We had to reduce this angle a little bit, and it was pretty significant. So I had to completely release all of this ruching, pull it away, do my work. I had the fitting with the bride off camera. Everything was great. And I marked, you know, kind of how I need to narrow the straps for them to fit her. Because as you know, when you take in a dress that has these straps that come around, they kind of cut them off a little bit, get all up in their business and stuff if you're not careful. So I've got that pinned, and I draped this on her. So I've got the ruching all ready to be tacked, and that's what we'll do today. And don't forget, it's got this weird, like, this is how they finished it off. So we'll do that too. All that. Honestly, what I'm probably going to do today is the sewing of this, and this. Get the crinoline hemmed because the crinoline is so full and she is so petite that I cannot mark her hem until that crinoline is you know, culled out a little bit. So that's my goal for this upcoming fitting that I have with her. I'm probably not going to bind this off until right up close to her wedding because I like that this is still adjustable. And obviously all of this is the extra size. Isn't that neat how you can see how it's displaced? It was here and it's pulled down like this. So this is all that extra bust adjustment that we did. We actually have to kind of cut that away because it's got to be bound into this. So that little segment will kind of be last-ish. That's for another day. Back to my cutting table. By the way, guys, use this time to write up your questions because don't forget, I want my live streams to be very Q&A heavy. This is my way of doing a little bit of sewing live and spontaneous and kind of like real world looking. But it's my way to really just answer your questions live, and you can have follow-up questions and all the things. So what I'm saying about my cutting table is this board, it's kind of wrapped in a vinyl tablecloth right now, this beige vinyl tablecloth. That's like a really nice board. Not this plastic piece. You guys saw that like 5 years ago in a video. I was saying I needed a new cutting board measuring whatever thingy, and I still haven't gotten that. But anyways, I'll tell you my plans for that. So this is going to be the tabletop for my future sewing table, cutting table, excuse me. And we will get rid of these. They will now be used, you know, for like Thanksgiving or something. And then these casters have never worked right. They're so frustrating. So I want to put like wider, like permanent, you know, 4x4 legs underneath this tabletop and a permanent shelf under there, maybe even some drawers. I'll have to show you my inspo pick for a table. It's amazing. But maybe some drawers recessed under here. So that's the idea I want to do. And I want the legs to terminate just flat. And I'll just put like felt sliders underneath them. So the idea is more just to be able to slide the table rather than have the casters. Somebody out there, I'm sure, makes good casters, but for the most part, they just frustrate me. So that's the idea here. So what I was talking about with eliminating this, I have this idea of for this tabletop, I want to kind of draw and ink on the grid on the whole thing. And then possibly even do like wood burning or something to burn some of the main measurements into it. But yeah, so that's my plan is I kind of want it like in the wood. So I might even, I don't know, I'll have to play with it to make sure what will run and what won't. But I'd like to have the grid in the wood and then maybe just do like epoxy pour across the top, like the clear or something. I did have a monster cutting table one time. It was 10 foot by 6 foot. And we just put really thick poly on the top and it was wonderful. So there's all that. All right, let me get this positioned so that I can do just a little bit of sewing with you guys. And I'm getting ready to read your questions. So if you came to this live stream with a question today, you think of it, and I would love to answer them. I'm looking for my thread that I want to use. This is just my typical Gutermann Mara 100. And that's not what I want to use right now. Let me go grab what I want to use. I know where it is. Ah, yes. Here she be. This one. The Scala 200. It's like super fine. You can also get this in like a peanut color, which is amazing, and it pretty much disappears on all the blushy mauvey skin tones that we see nowadays. So that's an idea. I think I showed you that color last week. Let me show it to you again. It's such an awesome color. This Scala 200 color 1218. And it just disappears on any of those neutrals, blushies, champagnes, whatever that we see right now. So you might want to add that to your wish list. And then I did a short today. Actually, I think I forgot to post it to shorts. Yeah, I didn't post it to shorts yet. I put it in my Instagram stories about the veil and accessory clips, how handy they are. And I linked to them as well. So I'll show you those too. I was asking, what do you use things for that it's not really designed to be used that way? So they're designed for accessory clips, right? But then I do stuff like hang a note with it, hang other accessory hangers with it, and then also back here, my samples. You can't really see it, but I hang those as well. All right, let's read these questions, y'all. Jacqueline's Own. Hello, everyone. Hello, Jacqueline's Own. It's like your schedule is perfect for mine. You always make it. It's so cool. Terry Owens. Hello. I'm excited to finally catch this live chat. I am so excited to have you. I Heart Bridal Couture. Yeah, they really, really robbed her. I hope at some point it gets made right. Okay, so I Heart Bridal Couture, guys. She's talking about the designer that I just released the long form video about this morning. And it's kind of tricky. You guys, after this live stream, you can go watch it, but it's my latest long form upload, and it says something like, I almost lost $3,000 or something like that. It was one of my higher budget productions for the channel, but I can use the footage for several things. But I'm feeling a little bit of what she's been going through. My hands are tied SEO wise. There's a lot of things I cannot say. So you'll notice like my series lately. Do you guys remember what my series has been? It was just going to be this spring and summer, and here we are. It's fall, and I'm still producing off this series, but it's how to design your own bridal line. So for this video, I just did not even want to use the word bridal. So it's more like your own, how to launch your own line, how to design. And it's just, I can't use her original name or anything like that. I don't want to cause any trouble. So yeah, it's a super exciting video, and it's a fun little tour. I do show a little bit of the garment district, although I got plenty of footage of that, so we can talk about it sometime. I did ask you guys if you're interested. Okay, this would take a lot of hours on my part, so if you're not interested, I don't want to do it. But I went to the garment district. Okay, the garment district in New York City. They do still do a little bit of actual, small garment construction, I guess, manufacturing there. But for the most part, it's kind of like it's where you would go like to buy fabric and stuff now. Okay. Now one cool thing about this, how it's going to bind it in the end, I don't have to hide my stitches so much now. So that's kind of cool about this. But anyway, so the garment district is basically where you can go in New York City and you can get like, designers like mill-ins and, leftover fabrics and stuff like that from like Mood and just, I mean, unbelievable number of like notions, buckles and closures and buttons and trims and whatever, store after store. Lace, there's suppliers representing lace manufacturers that, kind of have like a, they're from somewhere else in the world. They're not manufactured in New York City. There's a lot of that going on. But the last time I went to New York City was fall. Okay, it was like September of 2019. And I got a lot of footage. And I was planning on doing a video of garment district tour and sourcing with different suppliers in New York City. And that is when I did the video about Gilmore Lace. That was that trip. But I have a lot more footage than that. So what happened was COVID. And so many of the places that I got footage of were closed and were not there anymore. And so the footage was basically kind of obsolete. So I did think about kind of marking where I got all those videos, where I shot them, and going back and doing like a before and after COVID thing of like, what's still here? What's different? That kind of thing. But I feel like it's kind of sad, I don't really get into like sad emotional stuff on this channel much. So you let me know if you'd like to see a before and after. But that would take a lot of work. So I don't want to do it if you guys don't want to watch it. I'd rather bring you content you want to see. All right, so we've got this. I just kind of ran over it a couple times. And of course, I'm just getting the humps to lay down, basically. Yes, that's the technical word today. The humps. You know what? You know what I'm talking about, don't you? So I just want to get those to lay down because it's also going to be machine sewn back over when we bind it with this weird binding thing that they have going on with the sleeve. So let's go back to the comments and see here. So yeah, you guys, after the live stream, Google that Cheval and her story and who she was and what she's going through now. Okay. I heart bridal couture. We have that same saying. October is definitely the new June and July, really. Yes. Jacques Showman, am I saying your name correct? The fabric is called crystal organza, crystalline, or crystal organza, crystalline. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Have you guys seen the organza that Panina Tournay used? I think it was last year. She called it liquid. Was that what she called it? It really looked like water. It looked like white water. It was very reflective and very flowy. Is right on brand for her. It was beautiful. All right, let's see. Terry Owens. OMG, that looks like mine. Yeah, I feel like a lot of our rooms look like this right now, our work rooms. And that's why I feel like it's important to show it, I don't want you to like feel bad and think like, how does this person keep it all together? Nope, I don't. Okay, Silky, is that how you say your name? Silky Kana? Perhaps it's not just me who has to rearrange my sewing space like a million times. That is right. I I rearrange constantly. I just like to do that. I like, okay, my daily things, I like them to be kind of in the same spot, like for muscle memory's sake. But on a grander scale, yes, I do like to rearrange, and I'm always kind of rethinking. Terry, I hope you don't cut out bridal too much. Well, as you know, I don't cut it out in the real world. It's just, I just could not really say that word in the video. But the video is extremely applicable to what we do. I'll put it that way. Okay. It's very inspiring. And it's all about what was so cool, guys, was to see Cheval. Okay, this video, this is me going to her pop-up shop on the first day it was open, launch day of her new shoe line. Okay. So Cheval is a seasoned, experienced designer. She's very pretty. Super pretty, super fit, super spunky, sparkly, all the things, okay? She is not just a little pretty princess sitter on the shelf. She is so stinking smart, okay? So, I have DM'd with her, quite a few times, and I've followed her for years in her prior career. But this is the first time I ever met her. And she's my daughter's favorite designer. So it was important. This is my daughter's senior year. It was important for me to take her with me so she can meet her. So it was just a super exciting day. But the thing is, it's not every day you get to see day one of a launch of a brand new collection of a brand new design, a brand new designer name. Okay, the name is brand new. The line. It's not every day you get to see that, but it's from someone who 100% knows the ropes and they know what they're doing. So it was fascinating to see a launch executed so perfectly. I was just blown away. So we just get into that kind of like the language of design and how we work it into what we do. So it's a fascinating video. I did edit it very heavily. So a lot of it has been parsed out and it's down to like 7 minutes or so. So it shouldn't take you long to watch it, but all the highlights are there. So I hope you enjoy it. All right, let's see. Back to questions. Angie Gregory. Shout out to my BST besties that are here today, by the way. I really appreciate you guys being here. And also, I do have a new Discord server that I link to in my Instagram stories. If you want to join that, where we can all message. And with Discord, it's almost like a private Facebook group, but without the drama and without Facebook. I hate Facebook. But we can actually like share pictures and all talk and stuff. And it's like a closed group. So if you want to be in it, DM me on Instagram. And then I'm also going to try to keep putting the link in my stories for a little bit. So, Angie Gregory, do you have help/seamstresses that will be sewing for you? Or are you going to just reduce brides in your shop altogether? All of the above, Angie. I have 2 other girls who are lace pickers / lace sewers / they put in bustles, they do buttons and redo closures. Like, you know how like you take in something at the zipper, and I've set the zipper, but now it's the thing of like, there's a couple little button loops that go up above the end of the zipper, and all the hooks and loops, and then sew the buttons on, and all that stuff. They navigate all that for me, all the hand sewing. And they'll also kind of rip things apart for me, open seams and whatever. So they do all the time consuming stuff that doesn't have anything to do with fit, because I just haven't trained them for that. So I have found that's the easiest way to get help, is to train some people to do things like that. It's very quick to train them those things. And it takes multitudes of hours off your plate. So 2 girls that do that, 1 girl that cleans. And then, of course, my girls that are pickers for me, they also tidy for me. It's just, we can't keep up this time of year. But yeah, so next year I am greatly reducing my number of brides, but then I'll also still keep my help girls. So they love what they do and I love having them. Oh, guys, I gotta show you. I gotta show you something. Let me show you. Some of my merch came in. Okay. This I was happy with. Some of the merch was messed up. I'm actually going to move over to Spreadshop instead of Teespring. So maybe I need to do a sale with Teespring or something before I close them out. But they have a high error rate. I feel like they send me the wrong stuff all the time with my merch. So, but they make good on it. I will tell you that. It's like low risk. Like if they send you the wrong thing and you email them, they'll send you the right thing. But anyways, this came out right, and I was so excited. It's a new shirt design that I did. And it's not going to get black on this dress. I've let this lay out for 3 days to gas out. But it's my quote, guys. I'll do a job that I love for very little money, or I'll do a job that I hate for a lot of money. But God being my help, I'll never do a job that I hate for very little money again. So, those of you who know my story, you know that was what I left teaching in public school with. That was the feeling I had. And I'm not knocking public school altogether. Of course, it's needed, but where I worked was horrible. And I'm just grateful for what I went through because obviously I found something that I love to do. So there's that. But that merch is available if you want to get that. And then I'll just leave that up for another week or two. And then I'll switch over to Spreadshop because Teespring is getting on my nerves. But I do have that. Yes, I am a bridal seamstress. No, I will not hem your pants. I got a shirt that says that. So those are available. All right, let's see. Back to comments. Lena Rodriguez. Hi, how to adjust the fabric around the armholes to make, let's see, to make thigh a bit. I think it's a typo. A bit, especially probably the boobs part is what you meant. Okay, let's see. Let me try to figure out what this is. How does I can't tell what your question is. I'm so sorry, honey. Try that one again. I think there's probably like a couple of really important typos in there. Let's see. Amy Boger. I'm beginning to alter a heavy satin wedding dress. I have had some issues in the past of snagging when sewing / deconstructing satin. Any suggestions to prevent? Okay, Amy, do you mean like your needle? Do you mean your needle is like punching and kind of snagging the satin? Is that what you mean? Or do you mean when you open a seam, the manufacturer's needle had punctured and kind of scarred the satin? Both things can happen. I'd say for one, I would say use a very small, super sharp, fresh needle and do not be afraid to keep checking that needle and to swap that needle out. So if you guys, I don't know if you've seen my video of how to check your needle. Let's pretend like this is a sewing machine needle and it's coming down out of your sewing machine, okay? So we'll pretend like that. Why are you not focusing? Okay, here we go. I just run my finger like this. And if you feel a burr on the tip of it, then chuck it. As far as if they use dull needles or needles with burrs and they've left a scar is what I call it, where they sewed the side seams, and like you're having to open up the side seams and let it out, and you're afraid you're going to have two tracks, you know, along the side seams of the scarred needle points. Uh, all you can do really, sometimes if it's really bad, you can try cleaning it, like dry cleaner, to just get it to relax. Otherwise, I just kind of steam it really good. You know, obviously pick all the little threads out of it. Steam it really, really good. Get it nice and schmoozy. And then I take the bone that we use for like spot cleaning and stuff. But I'll take the bone on the fabric and I'll go both ways with the grain to kind of nudge it to close up those needle holes. And then some of them have a little bit of a fluff where the fiber in the fabric was actually broken. And in that case, I just come along at the very edge and just kind of shave it off with my nippers. So that's how I handle that. Let's see. Terry Owens, what needles do you use when sewing sequins fabric? Keep breaking the needle like crazy. It's driving me crazy. Yeah, unfortunately, that's kind of just par for the course with sequins. I mean, you can try to clear them out. You can try to clear your path. But, you know, that can come back to bite you if you end up having to adjust the size a little bit. I would use an 18 ballpoint and just know that I'm going to go slow and I'm probably going to break a lot of needles. Charge accordingly. All right, let's see. Okay, I'm just going to address something because we have some persistence in here. Frank Genvari. I'm not sure why you're in on this live stream. I'm going to check the back end how you got in, but you have been asking me for footage of this for years. I have many videos showing how to work the machine. I've seen you in the comment section of other sewists asking for the same thing. And at this point, it just feels a little bit extra and inappropriate. So I would encourage anyone else that is being asked by Frank to film and send some videos. That Frank has enough of those on the internet. So we're not going to do that anymore. So Frank, thank you for joining us, but please stop asking about that. It's actually inappropriate at this point. Okay. I did ask you years ago just to go to a sewing shop and try it out for yourself. That's what you're going to have to do. So everybody else, like, let's not send those videos, okay? It's an ongoing issue here. All right, let's see. We're going to move along, and we're going to ignore that from now on. Let's see. I Heart Bridal Couture. I really do appreciate, by the way, how active you are in the community. I Heart Bridal Couture. I appreciate that. This is awesome how much you interact. It really helps me. Silky, no, it's not just you. I've rearranged my shop tons. Yes. All right. So Valentina Contreras, hi. Just want to let you know that I'm so happy to get your live. God bless you and thank you. Well, thank you, Valentina, for joining us. And thank you for the blessing. God is good. And let me just see if I can get rid of this other comment here. Hide user on this channel. Okay. Nice. Okay. We've deleted this person because that's enough. Somebody needs an OnlyFans account, I think, is what's happening. Okay. So Jacqueline's Own, love the t-shirt. Yes, I'm so excited about the shirt. Now, I am short-waisted. I was not born to wear t-shirts. They just look terrible on me. So that's why I'm not modeling it for you guys today. But once I kind of hack and whack and redesign it and make it into something that is flattering for me, I will wear it on a live stream and show you guys one of these days. So let's see. Terry, where can you find help girls, people that want to be in this line of work? How much do you pay those people? Whoa, Terry, this is an awesome conversation. Okay. I have a couple of different ideas for you. My girls that work here, I just happen to be like related to them, or they like go to my church, or they're somehow like in my fairly close by family community. Okay. Um, I've kind of just grabbed them out of my local world. I have had very bad experiences when I just get somebody random from the public, or when I say yes to someone who asks me if they can come work for me. Unfortunately, a lot of times they have ulterior motives that I've had to deal with. So that's kind of sad. So that, and then I had a dear friend of mine who had to do hiring like for her husband's business, and she had the best advice. Okay, let me pour my tea real quick. I'll be right back with the tea, girl. Okay, so she would say when she needed to hire someone that she would go shopping, and she would go to a series of stores that were loosely related, okay, to what she does. So for instance, for us, that would be like like a fabric store or a hobby store, or like clothing, whatever, okay? So a place that somebody who seems to be like artistic and organized and detailed and has appreciation for design may work there, all right? And then you just kind of shop and you keep an eye on the workers. I thought this was the cutest story. This is legit how she told me she hired. Keep an eye on the workers, and they don't know why you're watching them. And you see who has a good work ethic and who is like the rock star of the crew, right? And then she would go up to that person and she would say, "Excuse me, how much are they paying you to work here?" And then she would offer her like, $5 more or something. And of course, with my business, what I do is I have a few part-time girls. I don't hire a full-time person, because with it being seasonal, I just feel like the weight of responsibility to give them hours year round. So, yeah. So in that instance, if you just have some part-time lace pickers, they probably wouldn't even have to quit their full-time job. But that's what she would do to get people. And I thought that was a really cool idea. So how much do I pay them? Well, it depends on how much they work, and it also depends on your local tax laws. Okay. So for me, now remember, this is a global audience here, but for me, my workers get to make $600 before I have to report them, for tax withholding. So basically, since they're part-timers, I just pay them cash. And then when they hit the amount that we have to report, and for cash, I usually pay them like $10, $15 an hour, depending on their skills, depending on how fast they work. But then when they hit the amount where they have to be reported for taxes, I give them a $5 an hour raise to offset the tax expense for them. So that's the way I do that, and it's worked great for us. Let's see. I heart bridal couture. Amen. Totally agree with that quote. And for me, I'd add, and never apologize for my prices again. That's right. That is right. Because if you know they're fair, like, why do you need to apologize, right? Okay, Silky, please let me know if I'm saying your name right. Silky, I want to know if I'm saying it right, because you're a BST bestie, so that means you're one of my channel members, which means you guys see that it says bestie by her name. When you join the channel membership, I'll respond to all your comments and stuff. So I want to be able to say your name right. Let's see. On satin dresses, I sometimes wrap all the hardware and press and seal before handling the dress. That's a great idea. I also would sometimes have like my lace picker hand sewer girls sew tool over stuff that might grab. So yeah, maybe that's part of what Amy was talking about. Like if there's rhinestones, like if it was rhinestone encrusted and they kind of grab the dress down here, we would bag this out in tulle, just like baste it on with big wide stitches, and that takes care of that. Let's see. Jacqueline's own, have you had any customers donating their used wedding dress to you? And if so, what do you do with it? Yes, I do get that from time to time. It's just a case by case basis. So some of them, they're, like destroyed in some fashion. And so it's really, I'll just clean it and harvest like imagine like if you could get this big of a piece of bridal fabric out of the front or something. I would just harvest the fabric from it. And I get my lace pickers to do that too. I get them cut it up into big piece goods and fold it up, and then we store them in totes. So that's what we would do if it was like an unusable gown. If it's usable, sometimes I'll put it in storage if I feel like some bride might come along and want it, for me to donate to. But there's that. Let's see. V-Sund. I used 8011 and 9014 and sometimes jeans 14 use for sequins and fabrics. Yeah, the jeans, that sounds like a good idea. I turned off the auto drop needle on my machine. Yes. Yes. Great advice. And sometimes put the needle down manually so it wouldn't break. Guys, this is like critical what this person is mentioning. V-Sund. This is so critical. Let me plug in our power cord here because we're getting ready to get weak. But I'm not a big fan of the machines that'll kind of automatically go down, because did you know if your needle comes down and hits something, that most commonly is what's going to knock your machine out of time. So I don't like that. And then plus it'll break your needle. So be right back. Whew. It's hard to do a live stream sometimes. Like, life goes on. It's hard. Like, you got to go find a charger, All right, let me plug us in here. Yay, we're back in business. All right, so exactly on the auto drop. That's right. So if you have the option to cut that off, cut that off. Because traditionally what I was taught back before it did all that stuff is I still do it today. You'll see me in my videos. You start it with the hand wheel. You don't start it with your foot. You can do a little bit with your foot and you can hear the motor engage a little bit, but you want to lead that first stroke, that first stitch down with your hand. You don't want to jam down in something. That'll mess up your machine. So there's that. Let's see. Amy Boger is laughing. Are you laughing at our foot videos, man? Okay. Silky, I'm about to start on yet another French bustle. I can feel the drama. Yet another French bustle. Wondering, do you have preferred bustle methods? Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I do. For different fabrics other than the weight. So sometimes I do ribbons, but I do I'll do ribbons if I have like piles of little bustles and I need to color code my ribbons. I'll do that. But I have found that the ribbons slip. So my preferred, if I have any right here, I'm digging in a drawer. My preferred is the fur hooks. And you can color code those too, like with permanent markers. Why? Oh, why? I'm only seeing the loops. But they're called fur hooks. And I think they're linked to on the products page of my website. But the hook is like huge. And it's easy for them to find. It's easy for them to bend it shut. It's just wonderful. They're so easy to sew. So that's what I do for French bustles. I love fur hooks. And I also like how where you stitch them down is so well displaced. It's not like close together like a little eye or a little hook. Ah, I found a set. So it just seems stronger to me. There. I love these guys for French bustles. Actually, I sometimes do them on large ball gowns if they're really fluffy and I can hide it under lace and there's like horsehair and tulle and everything going everywhere. Sometimes I hide this even on the outside of the dress. And, if the dress is just so voluminous, you can't hardly find stuff anyways. That lends itself really well. All right, let's see. I heart bridal couture. Thank you, BST. I so appreciate your channel. There's so few people who do quality bridal alterations, and I've sent people to your channel when they've asked me to teach. I'm considering it. Thank you so much. Now, one thing, it's kind of funny how stuff gets away from you. Like, I did want this to be like kind of a tips and tricks channel that could give you the speed to be able to sew professionally if all you've been doing is like reverse engineering and doing it exactly as they were originally sewn, and it's very time consuming and whatnot. Okay, so I did have that in mind, but I didn't fully grasp when I first got into this channel how much I was going to teach that kind of method of sewing. And it has become so important, particularly in the tough economic times we've faced lately and what we're going into, that we know how to take shortcuts that still look good on the outside. So I would not describe this channel as the majority of the time being extremely high quality, like highest quality sewing, heirloom quality, perfection, manufacturing ideals, couture ideals. I wouldn't describe it as that. I describe it more as like the middle of the road for what most of our clients are going to want and need for us to do to alter their wedding gown so that it looks amazing on the outside, but that it is something affordable for them. Just one moment. All right, I'm back. So yeah, so thank you for the compliment, but I do feel like this channel has somewhat kind of not been able to do everything as perfect as I would, like for it to be. It would be great to be like, oh, this is the perfect way, whatever. But I feel like that's just not practical in most applications. And really, I feel like most anybody can reverse engineer and figure it out and know the exact right way to do it. And there's also lots of books on couture and heirloom techniques. So there's my feelings about that. Let's see. Terry Owens. Follow up to previous comment. I've tried friends that sew, college people in design classes, random customers that are in my classes. I have one person, but she is a very slow learner. Love your idea. Yeah. Sometimes you are in like a hiring desert situation. I have certainly been there. And yeah, you just don't know. Sometimes it's hard to find somebody. So sorry, I'm yawning. Okay, V-Sund, I ruined an even feed foot from the auto drop needle function while working with heavy sequin fabric. Oh yes. Patricia, sew French couture. Oh, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about the various quality levels. If you're doing the French couture sewing, there's different echelons of quality, right? And it's not that I can't do it or somebody else can't do it or whatever. It's just whatever our client base needs is kind of what I'm letting lead here. So it's so interesting what you're teaching in live or video. Thank you. I'm so glad you find it interesting. Takes all kinds, right? I like to watch other sewists and how they instruct. I get new ideas, but also just to see a different approach, even if it's not an approach I would take. I just like to see the way other people think. So, no, okay, the reverse engineered. Let's see. Angie Gregory, my 7-year-old granddaughter is watching. Oh, she wants to learn what I do. She would love for you to say hi to her. Her name is Piper. Piper, welcome. Welcome to the live stream. I am so excited that you're here. This is so cool. A lot of times we get sewists who already sew and they know what they're doing and have all this experience, and sometimes they're cranky and they like to insult people. And that's terrible, isn't it? So, today we have a 7-year-old who is learning and she's happy and she's sweet. And she is going to outnumber any cranky people that might show up in the comments today. So, we're so excited to have Piper today, aren't we, guys? How adorable, Angie. And what a treasure. What a treasured memory. And Piper, you can play this later for your mom and dad. You can let them know that you are now a famous YouTuber. You were on YouTuber. You were on YouTube forever. Okay, let's see. V-Sund, I see that. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to send that. I meant your channel helps us reverse engineer. Oh, yes. Okay, yes. And then I heart bridal couture. Hi Piper, bless your heart. I started hand sewing at 8. I actually started hand sewing and machine sewing around 8, and I was too young, and I got very frustrated and I set it aside for a little while. So if that happens, Piper, that's okay. You can keep watching and learning, even if you find it frustrating. You might will fall in love with it all over again someday. But this is great memories with your grandma today. All right, let's see. Hello, I'm happy to found this live, Victoria McFarland. I'm happy you found us too. V-Sun says, welcome to the channel today, Piper. All right, guys. Well, I'm getting ready to close it out for the day. And let's see if there's any other questions. I'm just going to nudge this part over a little bit for a few minutes so you can see it was kind of going, it's kind of digging in her arm just a little bit. I'm just going to bring it over just like that. I'm not going to cut or anything. There's no need to do that here because this is such a stark line anyways that once we sew it flush and press it, it'll be just fine. So Piper, do you love bridal? That's what I really, really love. I love bridal so much. And you guys are all welcome to bring on the grandkids each time, right? We've got to outnumber all the cranky weirdos that are on the internet. We got to get some people that are happy. Actually, I will say I've been surprised. Like live streams so far, they've been like super positive. Sometimes the comment section of YouTube is like rough. But so far all the questions and comments for live streaming has been really nice. Yeah, there you go. See that? That looks great. No need to cut a thing there, and then that just makes it that much stronger. So I'm going to knot this off a few times. What is that caught on? I don't want that to be caught on that. How in the world? Well, all right. You guys get to see what I do. If I accidentally make a knot like that, I accidentally grabbed that and I didn't want to. I'm going to come back here and knot it several times and go back up. That way it's still holding it in place for me. But I'm going to re-sew it. That way I can just trim that piece off and it's not going to cause any trouble. All right. There we go. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, that's nice, huh? That's great. All right, let's see here. We're at the end. Let's check the last little bits here. Victoria. Oh no, I missed it. You didn't miss it. I keep them up on replay, so it's okay. When is the next live? I'm getting married and need help on my dress. Okay, Victoria, I do the lives every Thursday from 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if I can't attend it, I just let people know either on the community tab on YouTube or in my Instagram stories. And if ever you or anybody else needs help with a sewing project, you can always DM me on Instagram. That's the easiest way. So you can send me pictures and we can voice memo back and forth to solve the problem. If most of the time it's just like a simple little thing back and forth and there's no charge at all. But if you want like more of a deeper dive one-on-one for a good length of time, I do also offer consultations. So we can do that also. So Elizabeth Burley, thanks so much. I always learn a tip or two. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. Megan McMillan, I found your channel a few years ago while I was working professionally at an alteration shop. I found it very helpful. I recommend your channel to a lot of people trying to learn dress alterations. Thank you so much. All right, Victoria, I want to take my mom's train off of her dress and add it to my dress, and I need help. All right, girl, will you DM me and we'll get it worked out? I heart bridal couture. My 4-year-old grandson wants to sew like Grammy. That's so sweet. It's just like such a wonderful traditional connection, don't you think? I mean, surely sewing has been passed down for thousands of years, just like we're doing. So I don't have any grandkids yet, but I've been teaching my daughter for a while, and it's a precious thing to carry on. So even if they don't, end up wanting to be a sewist, it's still precious memories, just doing it together and figuring out what they love. Well, I hope you guys have an awesome rest of the week and enjoy autumn if you're in the northern hemisphere as me. And if southern, of course, you guys are going into spring and it's beautiful. I love seeing you guys in the beautiful down under in the spring you guys are going through. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye.